I have started the recording. I'm sharing my screen. Just, is it visible to all of you?
Yeah.
All right. Ali, I received your answers, so I'll be looking at those and I'll revert to you. Okay, so before that, proceeding to the exercise 2, I would like to discuss the exercise first, and then we will move to exercise 2. So today we will discuss exercise 1. In the next class, when rest of the people will also do the exercises, we'll discuss exercise 2 as well. So Ali, did you work on the exercise 1 also,
No,
or it's just exercise 2 you have worked?
But the last question is you stated that extract all possible values from left table to right table. So that is what I'm not understanding.
Okay, all right, no problem. So this is the exercise 1. I'm just opening it. Okay. So I'll be discussing each and every question here, and then we will see that where exactly we are missing. Okay. So this is the material which was required 7BDET. So this file is basically SAS file. So now my concern is, like, I need to create a library whose name is myliv, and and the path where the library, I need to provide that path while I'm creating a new library, and then in that path I will store this just somewhere right inside the this is my path, C users, Moonstone, and desktop, and then inside a folder I'm keeping this size. So now I need to create a provided the library name. So this is the library name myliv. So what I will do here, I will take a path of this, I will make a copy of this. So I'll do Control C, and then I'll go into the SAS. I'll go inside the libraries, and then I'll see that there are 3 libraries. I need to create a new library. So what syntax should I write to create a library? Any one of you? Great. Live name, and then myliv. And inside the double quotes, I'll provide the path where actually my data is stored, and data will be stored and data is stored. So in this path, whatever SAS file is there, it will create a data set corresponding to that SAS file. And apart from that, sorry, is there any question?
No.
Okay, all right. And apart from that, if I create later on, if I create any of the data set which is inside the myliv, which I need to, okay. So after this path, I put semicolon. Now, if I do the execution, I click on the F3 and I can see that myliv has been created. While I double click, admit is the data set that has been provided along with the exercise. So what I did, I just provided the path that at this path, myliv should be treated as a library content. Okay. So this is the part 1 which we need to do. Sorry, I need to close this down. Okay, so next one. Create a dataset inside work myliv.admit fee underscore new fee, which is a double of fee. So basically what I need here, that I need to create a new dataset, and that data set should be inside inside the work library. So now I want to create a dataset which is inside the work library. Suppose I keep this name of this dataset something like ABC. ABC is the name of the dataset which I want to create inside the work library. And from which data I want to create this dataset? Whatever is admit. So myliv is the parent, which is a directory, and admit is the dataset name. What it will do, it will make a copy of myliv.admit inside the ABC. And then I need to create a new variable. The new variable name is fee underscore name. What you want to store there? I know that myliv.admit has a variable which is fee. Let's check it out. This is the fee, and it should be double of fee. So new variable which is fee underscore name, underscore new instead of name. Fee underscore new equals to, it should be twice of fee. So fee multiply by 2, and then click on run. When you do the F3, you will see a new data set inside work has been created. And let's check out it, and which is a double of fee. So you can see that it has a new variable fee underscore new, and which is a double of fee. So this is how you can do the problem number 2. Okay, let's check out the other problems. Create 3 datasets from myliv.admit named. So this is interesting. What I need to do here, I need to create 3 datasets from myliv.admit whose name is act level equals to mod. So how I can do that? Now I know that there are multiple other ways of doing this. Like so let's check out how we can do this. So I need to create a data set which is inside the myliv library, and the dataset name is mod underscore adm. And what should be the act level? It should be mod. Okay, let's do it. This is my name. And then what I want here, I want, first of all, set myliv.admit here. All right, where X level equals to
Mod.
mod. And then run. Now I need to create another data set, which is, I will not type each and everything again and again. What I will do, I need to create another data set, and what will be the name of data set? Let's check that out. So that is X level equals to high underscore ADM. That means HIG. I need to write here. And what should be the X level? It should be high, HIGH. For the third one, I will mention copy paste again, and then instead of mod, it will be low, and here also it will be low. Okay, so let's execute this and check out the results. Here you can see inside the mylib, 3 data sets has been created, and check out the data of this data set. All the X level whose value is high, those has been stored inside the high underscore Adam, and then inside the low underscore Adam, all those whose value X level is low, right? So this is how we can create. We can basically what we are doing here, we are keeping a filter here with the help of where, and on the basis of that filter, we are sorting out our data, and we are just putting this data segregated, right? Child data sets. Okay. Now there could be another way of creating this, right? I did this in 3 steps. Now if I want to do this thing in a single step, what I can do, I can provide the name first. I want to create this in a single go. I do not want to write it thrice, right? So what I can do, I can first of all provide the names. What data set exactly I want to create? I want to create these 3 data sets, right? Delete these 3 data sets because I want to see that if my code is working perfectly or not. So I have deleted these 3. Now, what I need to do here, I need to set this data set because this is the main data set which I need to use here, and then only I can perform the calculations. Now, what I can do here, I told you one way, which is I'll give a hint also, right? Do it in a single code, hint, output. Remember how we did it in last class? Okay, I can use the condition. If, what is it? If X level equals to high, what should be the output then? Then output should be stored inside the, okay. Just a minute, I'm just opening the chat. Yeah, great, good job. Yes, so this is how I can use this. Thank you for sharing this. Copy paste is not working. So I can copy this and I can paste this, and then we can, okay. So let me check out the results here. Okay, so what we did here, we used a if-else condition. If X level equals to mod, then output should be stored in. But one more thing, I need to provide the mylib dot, right? So that it can understand in which library it needs to store the values, right? I want to store this inside the mylib, so I'll put it down here. Okay, rest of the things are same, right? Then output is mylib dot modded else if. Okay, let's execute this. I need to delete the earlier one also because I do not want comment out, and then let's execute it. So after the execution, I can see. Let's check out the results also. No data set. What about other? Nothing. So let's check out the reason why there is nothing has been stored here. Right? So where exactly we have missed in the syntax? First of all, we will not provide the braces here, right? So if X level equals to mod, then do this. So this is a part of debugging. We are checking out that where exactly we are missing the things. And then we provide this. Okay, but the braces is the only concern. Is there anything else which is not correct? So let's try it again. Delete this thing, and if I execute the log, in the log it's clearly mentioned that data set was not specified on the data statement. Okay, let's check out the third one. What I have provided here and what is written here. HIG, and what I wrote here, HIGH. So this is one thing. What else? Delete this, and then let's execute it again and check the log. Okay, this time you can see there is no error, and it's saying there were 21 observations read from the dataset mylib.admit, and mylib.mod underscore ADM has 7 observation and 9 variables, and all of these 3 have 7 observation and 9 variables. Let's check out the data. Great. Good. And this is again for the third one also, it will give the values. So this is how you can work on the debugging part, and then you can check out the things. So whenever we'll be executing our code, we'll check the log first so that we can make sure that things are correct from the log side, and then we'll move towards the output. Okay, so this is good that we used the if condition, and then we use the else condition, and basically if, else, if. So it's a kind of nesting we are doing. Like first of all, we are using if, and then we are using else if, and then again else if. So one important logic I want to tell you, actually how if else works, because this is a certification question also. So whenever you will be working on the if else, make sure the basic logic is, if first condition which is inside the if is true, then only it will go inside the then and output. In case if first condition is not true, it will not go inside the else if condition, right? So whenever you'll be working on the certification part, you will see some of the question which is actually based on the if else condition. Right. So I will cover some of the questions also later on when we will be done with the thing, so that you have an idea like how exactly the questions comes inside the certification. All right. So this is how the logic works, and there are two ways to doing the same thing, right? So you used when, and then you used if else, right? Okay. So good job. This question is done. Okay. Again, another question. Create a new dataset named temp from mylib.admit, where dataset is sorted by descending name and age. Okay, so we need to create a new dataset temp, and then inside the temp we need to put this mylib.admit. This thing you can do right now, where dataset is sorted by descending name and age. Anyone can tell me how we can do this? Any logic or anything which you have tried? Anyone? I told you sorting also, right? In the next class, in the other class, so you can try. Okay.
Parul, we can use a proc sort.
Right, we can use proc sort. Any other way through which we can try this?
I think that's the only way which I can think of.
All right, great, no problem. So let's check this out. I agree that because I told you this proc sort only. So proc sort data equals to what you need to give here. Mylib. I need to give mylib.temp. I want to keep this inside the mylib.temp, and then here I will give mylib.temp. And here I can provide by which I want to do a sorting. So first thing I want to make you clear here, by descending name and age. What if I write by name and age? What will happen? So let's try this, and then okay, to get the answer, what you can do here, you can directly print proc print data equals to mylib dot temp and run. Let's do it. I do not provide descending ascending. I just mentioned by name and age. So what will happen if I check the output? I mentioned that sort out my data with name and age. So if I see the name are alphabetically like A, B, C, D, right? So it's coming the names are in increasing order, right? So this is ascending order, name and then age. Okay, let's take out the age. Age is 272, and then 248, 376. So why the age is coming in this way? Because first of all, it will do the sorting with the help of name, right? So name is like, it's if you see the order, it's a kind of first of all you will see the shortest one, because A will have a value of 1, we will have a value of 2. So up to inside the 26 letters we have. So A will have the value 1. So this is how it's increasing. The value is increasing, right? And then if I see the age, so as per the age, first of all, it will check the name, and then as per the name, it will give you the age, right? So in case if two values which has the same value, let's check this out, Johnson and Jones, because both of these will be, first of all, Johnson will come and then Jones will come. Okay, but both of these are starting with J. So now if you see the age, which is 344 and then 232. Reason, and first of all, why did Johnson come first and Jones after that? Because if you see JOH, the order JON, right? So this is the reason that it comes first and the other one comes after that. If you see the next one, Peterson and Fitz. So on the basis of alphabetically order, it's coming the values are coming here, and then the corresponding ages are coming. In case if I need to mention that this name should be in descending order or age should be descending, so I will mention the descending keyword after this, right? All right. What is the next question here? These are the data set, two data sets, D1 and D2. D1 has some values, D2 has some values. Now, do merging of these two data sets and give me the output in the third data set, D3. Okay, let me copy this data set and then we will see the questions. What are the questions here? All of you need to try it at your own, right? So, because I just received the answers from one of you, from us. Okay, so this is the D1 data set and D2 data set, ID, age, both of the numeric. ID, numeric, this is character, name is character. Okay, so here, do merging of these two data sets and give me the output in the third data set named D3. So what is required for the merging? What are the two things which is prerequisite for the merging?
Sorting.
Sorting, good. So first of all, your data should be sorted out. Proc sort data equals to D1. And then with which key it should be sorted out? It should be a kind of primary key. So I'll do the sorting by ID. Same for the another one. You have to do the sorting for both of the data sets. D2, I'll just mention the D2 here by ID. All right. Next thing, I'll create another data set, which is D3. And then I will mention merge. What are the two data sets I want to merge? D1 and D2. By which ID, by which key I want to do the merging? By ID. And then I'll mention the run. I'll use the proc print to get it printed. Okay, let's execute this. Cool. ID, name, age. So this is how it's working. Any question on this? Clear? All right. Do merging of these two data sets and give me all possible values of ID from left data set in third data set D4. Okay. So what I'm asking that give me all possible values of ID from the left data set, which is D1. So what we can do here, remember we worked on the, first of all, the data set name should be D4. What we did in the last class, we used the implicit variables n equals to x. And then for the another one also, I use n equals to y. These are called implicit variables by ID. Now I want the data from the left table. So what I will do, if x, this is the only thing I need to do. It will give me the data from the left. So it will give me the data from the left table based on the IDs which are in the left table. Now, another thing, if I want the data from the right table, basically those IDs are corresponding data which exist in the right table. If y. So here you can see the IDs from the right table and then corresponding data. Okay. All right. Okay, so I can see the data. Okay, Proctor data equals to 10 by descending age. By Proctor data equals to right, and then we did the month. Good. All right. For the second one, we have done here that we used the implicit variable in, and then we used the left-right conditions. All right. So all possible IDs from the left and the third, and then this is asking D5 the same way from the right. Okay. Do create a new data set, which is D5. D5 if x and y. 1, 2, 3, 4 is these IDs present in both of the data sets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the common values. Any question on this? Is it clear to all of you? So this was the like very easy exercise because I wanted to make sure and I wanted to see the confidence inside you. So this is the easy one. So as we move forward, I will give you the mode of exercises because this is just to make sure that you understand the syntax, you understand the logic. Now, once you are aware of these things, we will directly working on the case studies and we'll be working on the live data. So make sure you work on these exercises. Then only you will have the confidence to work on the later exercises, right? So if you have not tried it yet, so please try it again. And if you have any question, you can reach out to me. And also start posting questions on group. That's how we learn, right? All right. So I'm closing this out. Okay. Anything else? Any question or anything else anybody want to discuss before I move to the next topic, which is functions?
No, Parul.
All right. So we're working. Okay. All right. So we'll start the functions today. And then we'll be working on the arrays also. Array is not very important topic, but I will cover the array because in some situation you can see that work can be easily done with the help of arrays. So we'll be working on the arrays also. But before that, I would like to start the functions because function is really important topic. So make sure you work on the functions at home. So whatever I explain in the class, you do a practice of that at home. And also I will give you an exercise also. So there are multiple functions, right? You can see around 37 functions it has. So I will try to cover as many as I can do, and I will give you the notes. So whatever we are not able to cover here, you can do the practice at home. But whatever is the important function, I will try to cover in the class itself. Because I can see that you guys do not get enough time to work at home. So I'll try as much as I can cover in the class. Okay, so functions, what is the meaning of function? You must have used the functions somewhere in your coding work or your day-to-day life, right? So what you understand by the function? Any idea, any guesses?
Function is basically we use to perform some actions and then
Right.
to
All
get the
right.
desired.
Anyone else want to discuss about the functions? All right. So I agree that functions are basically to perform a particular task. So what SAS has done, SAS has created the functions. So SAS has done the coding in the backend itself. And suppose I want to get a string of a substring from a string, right? So I need to write if I want to do this thing inside the base, what I need to do, I need to write a code for that. What SAS has done, SAS has identified the areas where we may have to use those coding again and again while we are working on the live data. So what it did that it has created the functions. So we just need to use those functions to make our day-to-day work easy. So suppose I take an example that this I have a string, right? My string is like var1 has a value is my name is Parul, right? So this is a data which I received from the client, right? So this is, you can see one of the data. Maybe I have hundreds of variables which has the similar kind of data. My name is like something where 2 can have my something like this, right? So my name is Paris. So what is common here, and there could be variable 3, 4, up to 100 or maybe more than that. So suppose I have a requirement that I do not want this complete syntax. I just want the name of the employees or the name of the like customers or XYZ, right? So what I can do here, I can create a code in the base SAS to fetch out this particular name. What is common here? I can see that name is coming at the last of this string, right? Which is a common trend in all of the string which I have, right? So to perform this task, I wrote a code and then I create a function for that. That whenever you are in a situation when you need a substring of the function, you can use the code which exists in the SAS. You do not need to write your own code. This is something which already exists. To make our life easy, what SAS has done, SAS has created functions. Functions are basically to create a particular task to make our day-to-day work easy. So let's take the example of one of the function and then we'll move forward. So I'll start with the service tr function. This is very important function. Okay, so what service tr does? Service tr create, so basically, if so, as you understand with the name of this service tr, like that means that it's giving me the string, right? Okay, so let's take one example, and then I will explain the things which is very important. So this is the entire function topic is very important because you will be using this inside the proc SQL, inside the base SAS, and then inside the macros. You will see a lot of use. So okay, so this is a data set A I want to create, and what I want to do here, SAS user.admit, I want to make a copy of this inside the A. The new variable, what I need, okay, first of all, I will open the SAS user.admit. Okay, this is SAS user.admit. Inside the SAS user.admit, we have ec level, right? Now what I need a service string. Basically, I need first two letters of the ec level, which is hi. I used a function. This function will give me the first two letters of the string. Okay, so let's check out the code. New is a new variable. Service tr, and then in the name of the variable. So ec level is the variable. Inside the ec level, I will give the starting. So basically, the syntax is, when we are writing the service tr, it will go something like this. First of all, you will give me the name of a string, and then you have to tell SAS that what is the starting position from which you want to pull the values, right? And then you will provide the length. What will be the length of the string, right? So this is the syntax of service tr. The starting position, string from which you want to make a substring. What will be the starting position of the substring which you want to fetch? So suppose in our case, it's high. These were the variables, right? Variables were something like that. These were the values of the variables: high, mode, low. What I need first two letters from the high. So it should be something like hi. From the mod also, I need first two letters. From the low also, I need first two letters. So while we will be working on the service tr functions, what I will do, service tr inside the bracket, I will give the string name. What is the string name? Ec level. From which position you want to fetch the substring? From the starting position 1, right? And then what will be the length of your string? So it will start from the first position, which is hi. So h is the first position, and it will go up to two places of characters. So hi till hi. Now let's check out the result. Get this printed on the screen. Proc print data equals to a, and then run. It will create a new variable which is giving you the string of two letters, of the first two letters of the ec level, right? What if I need, close it out, first three letters? What I will do, starting from the position 1, I need three letters, so the length will be 3. Cool. H-I-G, low, medium. I need its first letter only. Length will be 1. Fine. This is how you can use a substring to fetch the results. Okay. Another important thing. It is very important, and it's a while you will be working on the certification part, it's an interview question also, and the certification question also, and it's a tricky one. Generally, people do not know this. Okay, so I have not tell you the proc SQL as of now, but later on I will tell you the proc SQL. So proc SQL is also a form of SQL. You just need to understand it. So I will explain this in later class when we'll be working on the SQL. All right. So type table A will do. It will give you the description of your variables which your table A has, right? So describe table A, because table A is basically the log. It will give you the basic syntax if you want to create this data set as a form of table. So what it will give you the syntax: create table work.a, buff size equals to 8192, ID has character 4, name has character 14, and you created your variable with ec level. So ec level char. You can see that ec level char has 4 length, right? That means maximum 4 characters can be stored here, which is a substring of the ec level. So one very key point here, you can see that I want to store only 2 characters. Still the length is 4. The reason behind why this length is 4, because it takes the length of the parent from which you have derived this new variable. So if the service tr creates a new variable, then the length of the new variable would be same as that of the parent variable. So this is an interview question. Also, this is a certification question also. Right? Is it clear? Any question on this? Any doubt? Anything?
No.
All right, good. Let's move towards the next service tier use. Okay, so your question is if SAS runs on the Linux flavor, can we have to work on that only? Okay, so if you are working on the Linux or Unix, you will have to work on the, because this is a drawback, you have to write each and every single line of the code, and it will not be as much, the syntax will remain same, more so there will be no difference. The only difference will be in the files, like the dev files and all. The basically the file structure we have inside the Linux or Unix, but apart from that, rest of the function, each and everything will work on the Linux or Unix, but the way we will be doing the things in the Unix is entirely different, because what we do there, we write each and every line of code by our own, right? Inside that, we cannot, inside the Unix we cannot use the copy paste. The user, the results will also not that much like interactive what we have inside the Windows, but the logic and the syntax will remain same. So what I have suggested people like who are working on the Linux and Windows both, suppose whatever logic or you want to test anything, use this test online for that. Create your logic, like, because at times you will see that we are working on a code and we need to check the logic and we want to do it again and again till the time we get success, right? So whatever thing you want to do, try, like if you want to try it at your own, then do it on the Windows based platform, and once you have the output and your code is ready, use that inside the Linux, because more or so everything will be same. The only thing is, like, you cannot your work will be done very easily in the Windows based, but Linux will make your life a bit difficult because you cannot do a copy paste kind of thing there. So every line of code you have to write your own. All right, so the next thing, which is a service tier. So let's check out the use of the service tier. Very interesting. Okay, I took a string. So you may have a data inside the cards also. So suppose this is your variable. I'm giving the variable here itself. I'm not using the data lines and cards. So what I put here, x equals to, and then I put the value. So these are basically the mobile numbers and the area code you can see here, right? So now what I need here, I need the mobile numbers, right? I do not need the area code. So I know that my string is starting somewhere. This is the first position, this is the second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, sixth position onwards, my string is getting started. And I need the mobile number only. So what I can do, I can write substr x, x is my string. It will go up to the length of 10. Let's check out the results. Cool. Now, if you have a data, suppose you have received thousands of mobile numbers. So it can be something like, suppose something like that. I put it from here. And what I did, I used the cards and then I kept my data here. Suppose I have 10,000 like that, right? So the numbers can be different, right? Or something like that, right? Even area code also, it can vary. Something like that, right? Now what you need, you will mention, right? You will mention the dollar, but you do not need this here. Something like this. Is it clear to all of you? Now what I need an output, and I need to create a new variable whose name is phone, and that should store the phone only, right? So let's move this out. Now let's execute this. Phone number is not here. Why? Okay. You also have to provide the length somewhere. Suppose I want to give it a length of 20 dot. Right? Okay. So this is how you can fetch your phone numbers. Another thing. Now I want to fetch the area code only. What I will do? Tell me. Any one of you? What I need to do to fetch the area code? Tell me the syntax.
So if you are putting same string X, then will it not conflict?
What will be the syntax? Sorry.
So you are putting X. So I'm asking,
I wrote the X, right? And then
and then the starting character 2.
starting from the position from where, what is the area code here? 91 is the area code, 81 is the area code, 01, 41 from the second position, right? And then how many letters I need? I need 2 letters only. I will mention the 2. Let's execute this. You can fetch the phone numbers and area code now. Clear? So this is how like you will be using these functions in your day-to-day life. It will make your task very easy when you will be using the function. All right. So this was the one example. Now, if I give you a complete phone number, you will give me the area code. You will give me the you will give me the phone numbers. Ask you that whatever are the from the India, all those phone numbers should be stored in a data set A. Whatever are the from the Australia should be stored in B. Whatever are the from the US should be stored, something like that, right? So now you can do that very easily because you know how to segregate the data with the help of when you can do the segregation with the help of another thing was output. You used a if and then you used to also create a new variable which is with the help of substr. So first of all, you will use the substr and you will segregate this with the help of area code. Now you just need to suppose there are 10 numbers which are whose area code is 91. So you can use it very easily, right? You can use a where condition. You can give me the segregated output very easily. Clear? So this is how you will be working on the live data. So like these are the simple things which you need to understand. And the same thing you can see that implementation will be while you will be working on these things. All right, let's move to the next because we have many functions. So let's move to the next without wasting much on this. Okay. So these are the functions which are in very detailed manner. If you understand each and everything with me, you will see that there will be no question which is different. So other than these codes, right? All right. So let's check out this. What is this code is doing? What I'm doing, suppose by mistake, whatever codes were area codes, I received the data from the client. Client mentioned that I provided the data to you, but that data has a mistake. What is the mistake there actually? By mistake, instead of like a code which is of Sri Lanka, suppose they have given me the code of India. Now they have provided me the information that we do not have time. We cannot provide you the updated file. You have to do it at your own. Right. So they have verbally or maybe in written they have provided you the information that by mistake we wrote 91 instead of 00, where the area code was 00. We wrote it 91. Now you need to update it into your data file. So how you can do that? It is very easy. The 91 area code, right? And then you can replace that 91 with the 00. How you can replace that with the 00? You can use the substr x, 22. What this will give you? This will give you the area code which is the value of this. Tell me, substr x, 2, x is this string starting from the second position, which is 9, right? Go up to second position, up to 2 characters. String, replace this string with the 00, right? So now let's execute this code. You can see that this has been replaced by 00. Clear? Any doubt, any confusion on this? It is a tricky one. So let's understand this in this way. Suppose I created a new variable, which is area code 91. Now I want to replace this 91 with the 00. What I can do, I want to make a replacement inside the x. So what I can do, first of all, take a substring from the x. I took a substring from the x, and then you will mention that I want to replace this with 00. You will mention equals to, this should be 00. It has been replaced, and once it has been replaced, and then you apply the area code. So you will get the area code of 00, right? Is it clear to all of you? So first of all, you are making a replacement, and then you are asking for the area code. So then after this step, string will be 00 and then this mobile number, and you will apply the substr on that. Is it clear? Any doubt on this or any question?
No, it's clear.
Okay, great. Substr left side condition. That means we are using this inside the left side. Okay. So what I'm doing here, let's say the aim is to just replace hi to ho. Suppose I received a file from the client, and client is saying that by mistake I mentioned hi and replace all of the hi by ho, right? So what you will do, you will use, first of all, you will take the substring, the first two letters of the string, which is this. If this equals to hi, then what you need to do, what you will do, substr ec level 1 comma 2 to replace all of these with ho. Now this is the live implementation, right? So let's get it printed. What I did, first of all, I took the substring. In case of h high, it will give me hi. In case of mod, it will give me mo. In case of low, it will give me lo. Right now, I'm using a condition where the aim is like whatever act level has the first two letters as hi, replace those two letters as ho. So you have to use a if condition for that. If substring act level 1 comma 2 equals to hi, that means the string is starting from the hi. Then what you need to do, if it's not starting from the hi, you do not need to do anything, right? But in case letters with ho, right? So you replace these two letters with HO. Is it clear? If we execute this, we will see. There is a syntax error. Print value is not correct. So this is X level. It was HIGH. Now it's HOGH. This is low mod. No changes in that. The same way, if you want to see the first two letters, like which is LO, you want to replace that with HO, something like that, right? Okay. So it's suppose if it's LO and I want to replace this with HO. This is how we can replace this. What happened? Log. Okay. Serve str at level 1 comma 2 equals to low, then do what happened. The meaning of the identifier after a core string may change in the future. Okay, got it. No problem. So I'll check for the MO. If this is MO, then replace it with HO. What's happening? Right, there's okay. It's just something went wrong here. It was working fine. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe I have to restart my system again. Rest of it. Okay, all right. So if we have multiple entries, okay, multiple entries, that means your particular word is getting repeated, something like that. So in case of multiple entries, it can, the way will be same, right? You need to do the function, like suppose inside the Excel, I need to apply a function. What I do, I write like equals to, and then I use the function name. So suppose dated if I want to apply, and then I pass the parameter, right? I want a month of the year. So month of the date. So I used a month function, something like that. And I double click on that, and whatever are the rest of the values for them, formula applied by default. So the same way, I showed you that if I have data in the car, and then it will be applied on rest of the variable by default. Okay, so let's try this code again. Why this was not working earlier? Why it worked once? Okay, there is nothing inside both A. Okay, so A has been created, and the inside the A, if I see that high should be replaced to HO, high has been replaced to HO, right? So this is how you can replace the string. And one thing you will see that you just applied this on the substr, and it got applied. So basically, you mentioned the name of the variables on which you want to apply, and then it got applied on all of the variables in a single go. Is it clear? Any question? Any doubt on this? Okay, one important thing. The substr function extract a text from the character variable. So my variable was high, low, something like that. It could also be used to replace the values, like we replace the value hi with the ho. When it is on the left side, it assigns the new values. Suppose you need to change the first two values from 91 to 00, 91 to 100. So you can assign by putting it to, so basically this is something that, suppose you want to change the code from 91 to 00. So this is the same thing what we have done. So there will be other functions also which you can use instead of using the substring in this case. So we'll be explaining those functions also, like we have transferred and translate. So I'll be working on those functions. I will explain that to you. So then you will understand that the same thing can be done with the help of 2-3 functions. Substr. Okay, so if you see this, it has mentioned x equals to this, and then you mention phone equals to substr x comma 5 comma 2. The substr function. So earlier, remember that we started from the 6th position and we went up to 10. Now what it did, it provided from the 5th position and up to 2, up to 2 characters. So the substr function extracts the text from the character variable. It counts the blanks also. So here you can see that we have a blank, right? Because our string was starting from the 6th position. The phone number was starting from the 6th. We have another position. All right. So if I see that here we have one blank only, right? So now how we can see that if it counts the blank also, let's check this out. What I did, I provided a position from the 5th and up to 2. Starting from the, it is showed only one is showing. By default, it has 2. So 2 letters it has. So it counted the space first, and then another letter was 9. Starting from the 5th position, go up to 2 places. So 5th position was your space, and then 6th up to, you need to go up to these 2 places. So 5th place was 1. There will be one more place because there are 2 places. The 9th will come at the 6th position. Clear? So if you have blanks, when you are using the when you are applying the substr function, it will count the blanks also. Okay. So in case I do not provide the length, what will happen? Any guesses? I was providing the length as of now, right? Now I do not provide the, do not want to provide the length. What will happen in that case? It will go up to the rest of the variables which we have, like whatever length we have, it will go up to, and it will start the counting, and it will go till the end. So here you can see I provided that there were 3 parameters basically. The first one was you have to tell the string. The string is x, which has this value 9199 something. Then I provided starting position will be 6. That means starting position will be from this 9, and it will go up to the length of the, because I have not mentioned the length. So by default, it will take the length of the string of the variables. Is it clear? So let's execute this. Check out the output. This is how it's working, starting from the 6th position up to end. Any question on this? All right. So let's move to the next, because these are like not so important. So main, this is how substr function will work. Next, scan function. Very important. Very, very important. So I will use this function a lot when we'll be working on the macros. So make sure this is like, you remember this function like your name, right? So okay, what scan function does? What do you understand? Checking the values. It can be, suppose I have this string. Now I need a particular variable. Suppose I need an alphabet, a particular alphabet. So what I will do, I will scan the complete string, something like that. All right. Now let's discuss how scanning actually works. I took the data from SAS user.admit. Okay. So suppose this is the SAS user.admit. This is my SAS user.admit. I want to take the last name of the, so here you can see that Murray, and then comma, and then W. Almers, comma, C, right? So this is how the names are showing. First of all, their first name, and then their middle name, or you can say the last name, right? Initial of the last name, something like that, right? Now I want the last name of the of this string. How I can do that? Any guesses? if I apply, because I have just know the substring function, if I apply the substring function, so in the first position I can tell that this will be the position of W. In the second also I can tell that this will be the position of C. But what about rest of the word where the position is not at the same place, right? For the third one, the position can be at like somewhere around 10 for the T, position of T, right? And in case of the first two, it can go up to like somewhere in 7. So position is changing at each and every string which we have. So this is something I cannot identify a particular trend if I'm trying to apply the semester function here. So now what I can do, if I to finding a pattern, I can see that after comma, whatever is the value, whatever is the character, that is the last name. Before comma, whatever is the value, that is the first name. So now I can see that the segregation can be done. The first name, last name segregation can be done with the help of comma. Okay. Now let's understand how we can use. So for that, I'll be using my functions. We have a scan function. What scan function does? Scan function basically segregate your data, basically segregate your string with a particular delimiter. So in this case, I know that my delimiter is comma because my first name and last name are segregated with the comma. So what I can do, I will use this scan function. I need this last name only. So I will use this scan, right? The same we did in the substrate. Then I will provide the information regarding which chunk I need. So if you use a comma as a delimiter, what will it do? Right? And then we have comma and then it will have W. So comma is a delimiter. What it will do? So Murray will be your first chunk after the segregating your data, right? This is the first, this is the second. So what it's doing here, you mention the scan function and then you provide the variable name and you mention that I need the second chunk because you mention that I want to segregate the string with the comma delimiter. So it will give you the last name. Okay, let's get it printed. You can see that last name WCT. You can see your last name. Now if I say that I want the first name also, I not only the last name, I also need which variable you want to apply the scan. I want to apply the scan on the name. Which chunk you want to use? I want to use the first chunk. What is your delimiter? My delimiter is comma. Execute this. This is the last name and this is the full name. Sorry, first name. Cool. And this is your complete name. Cool. Clear? Your delimiter can be anything by which you want to do the segregation, right? It can be something like even your alphabet letters also. If you want to segregate with the M, so you can apply the M, right? So suppose I want to, I have a name like Parul, right? I want to segregate my string with the R. R is my delimiter. So what I will do, scan, and then this is my var, something like var equals to, inside the quotes, I will give the this, something like that. And then scan, in this scan, I will say that first two letters. So what I will do on the where I want to apply the scan function, and then I want the first chunk. What is your delimiter? My delimiter is R. What it will do? It will divide your string with this delimiter. So how it will be? PA will be on one place, and then R is your delimiter, and UL will be your. I'm segregating this string with R. This is my first chunk. This is my second chunk, right? So if I write I need a first chunk, I will write the first. It will give me the PA. If I need the second chunk, I will give the 2. It will give me the second chunk. In case if there is more R, something like that, right? R and then it wrote AB. What it will do in the another segregation, it will like another, whenever it find the R next, it will segregate the R separately and it will give you the AB. It will give me the AB. So this is how this actually works. Is it clear to all of you? Because it's very, very important. Any question? All right. One important thing, interview question and the certification question also. In case of Savastia, you saw that the Savastia takes the length of the parent. So the new variable which you create, that becomes by default 200 bytes. So I created L name. What will be I created M name. So what will be the length of that? Or it's just like, it's just mentioned that this will be the length. So if you want to check the length of the F name and F name and L name, what you can do, you can use a define table X. You can write proc SQL and you can mention define. It will define your table. What is it? Which table you want to define? I want to define my X table. Okay, use it quit. Check the output. Oh, I just mentioned the SQL. Instead of SQL, I mentioned the SQ. Write the complete SQL and proc SQL, and you define table X proc SQL, something like that. We'll describe actually. If you will describe or something. Right. So you will see that the result will be inside the F name and L name. So it will not depend on the parent, which is name, 14 characters, right? The length of the L name and F name will be 200. That is fixed by default, 200 bytes. If I use a scan function. So whatever variable you create with the help of scan function, the length will be by default 200. So it is very normal and very generic question. So when you will be working on the certification, you will see that this question will be there, right? So you will answer that if you have created the function, new function with the help of scan, the length will be 200. But if you are creating a function with the help of substr, the length will depend on the parent variable from which you want to create the new variable. Clear? Okay. So now let's check out the other examples of index function, sorry, scan function. Okay, normal. I'll use the delimiter. Okay, so delimiter we have already discussed, but example. Suppose I want to create a data case in which I gave a string which is like my name is Parul, right? Now what I want to do, I want to use a scan function. So I want to store the variable like what is my name actually. So what I can do, I can use a scan, and then inside the scan you will mention the variable and you will mention which chunk you need. I will say that I need the fourth chunk. Okay, what is your delimiter? I will say that space is my delimiter. Okay, run, and then we will print data equals to k and run. Okay, so this is how you can fetch the name of these. Now, if there is a byte, so what I did here, I made a segregation with the help of space. There are 10 names in the cards, inside the card data. So you can just use a create a scan function and you can get the values, right? So suppose I know that I have specified these spaces as a delimiter. So you have mentioned, first of all, you need to, like if I count that what will be the chunk of this, first delimiter, second delimiter, and then third delimiter. And then the chunk will be fourth, right? If I want to use this will be the third chunk will give me is, right? So this is how it will work. Now, what will happen if the segregation is not spaces? If segregation is by something like something could be colon. So colon is being used as a segregation. So what I need to do here, in the delimiter piece, I will write the colon. The colon is my delimiter and I need the fourth chunk. I need the name of the variables. Cool. It gives you the name of the variable. So your delimiter can be anything. It can be like something like that. Any hash or something. Sorry. Hash is here. And then here you mention the hash and you got it printed. Cool. This is how it works. Delimiter, blank. Okay, so this is an interview question. What if my string has a spaces? Okay, let's check out this from our syntax itself. There was some like I have provided a space as a delimiter. What will happen if I provide a space at the first place, right? And now I execute this. So what it does, you saw that if I go as per the delimiter, space is my delimiter, but there are some, maybe 4 or 5 spaces in the front, right? But it's still giving me the right result. So what it does, the scan function by default does a left padding. That means whatever spaces are in the left side, those spaces will not be taken into the consideration while you are working on the scan function. So basically, whatever spaces will be in the left side of the string, those will not be counted. So you can see that in case I have provided these spaces here, then also it will start counting after the next space, which is actually counting from here. So what it does, it basically compress the string. So whatever is in the left, it will be treated as this. All of the left has been compressed, and then it will work on your string. So it was an interview question in Barclay. that if this is my string, like if there is a space in the starting and this is my string, if I need this name, what will be the syntax, right? So you will mention that, because you know that whatever is in the left side, scan function will automatically compress that from the left side. So this is how it will be working. Okay, all right. So scan from right. And this is also something which you need something for which you do not want to make a counting. And this is not a good example. I will give you the example of this. So now what I did, suppose I have a string, something like this. I live in Delhi and my name is Pavel. And something like that. Something like this, right? So this is your string. The syntax can go beyond this. What I can do, I can take a better example so that you have a better understanding of this. Something like this, right? And then you mention the cards and you mention the string. Now you do not mention that where you live. You said I live in Bombay and my name is ABC, right? And then you mention my name is XYZ. Then you mention I live in yes, I know. Something like that, right? And then you mention, right? So this is your string. These are your strings. Now, what I need to do here, so this is my case. Let's get it printed. It's getting printed. I mentioned the length is as 60 here. Now, what I need the names of the people, right? From each of these syntax, I need the name, and the logic I can see that the name is actually my name is, right? Either I can use is as a segregator, and then I can use, or I can use a space as a segregator. If I use a space as a segregator, at every line, I can see that this number of spaces is different, right? So what I can do to fetch the names, and I know the names are at the end, right? So I will use a smart code for that. I will do a smart coding. People generally do not know that how to do that. You will know that how to do that, right? What you will do, you will use the X. Now you need to tell the position of your name which you want to find. So you will mention that my position is actually -1. What will happen if you execute this code? It's giving you the names. So cool, right? Even you do not have provided any of the parameters, sorry, delimiters. So by default, the delimiter is space. If you do not provide any delimiter, by default, it will take the space. If you write this also, then also it will give you the same results. So it's a smart coding. You were not sure about the length of the each of the X, which is a syntax, right? But you still figured out the name of the each of the employees from this. This is called like basically you are using your mind, you are using your brain, you know the functions, and this is a good example of using the functions. Is it clear? All right. So this is how you will create your logic and you will be working on the syntax. But the important thing is you can start the counting from the right side onwards also, because you need this letter, right? So you started the counting from the right side. Cool. This is discussed about like if I have a single space, if I have a something like asterisk, if I have a colon, if I have something like that, right? So this is a good example. Let's do it. Okay, so this is my string, which is inside the braces. You can see that A asterisk B slash K. Now if I am using str1, str2, str -1, important things, I am not mentioning any of the delimiter. What it will do, if you execute this code. By default, if you, let's get it printed. So what I did not mention any of the parameter, so delimiter. What will be my delimiter? By default, what it or anything else has been used, it will take that automatically, right? So in this case, I just mentioned the -1, that the last string I need. I do not care about the segregation of the, like, what delimiters I have. In case of you mentioned the first, what it will do, it will give you the A. It will segregate, give you the B, because asterisk is being used as a delimiter. So this is a case when you have a multiple delimiter. What will happen if I clearly mention here that asterisk is my delimiter? I know that there will be no impact, but in case of second, if I mention clearly that asterisk is my delimiter, let's check out what will be the impact. It will, if you mention that asterisk is your delimiter, it will give you that A will be the first chunk and B/K will be the second chunk. In case if you do not mention anything, the special characters will be treated as a delimiter by default. Clear? If you clearly mention the delimiter, it will work on the that delimiter only. But in case if you do not mention any of the delimiter, it will take all the special characters as a delimiter. So it took the asterisk as a delimiter, it took the slash as a delimiter. Clear? All right. So these two functions are very important.
Can you just repeat that Barclays one once? I couldn't understand it.
Sorry?
Can you repeat that Barclays example once?
Okay, sure. So this is the same what we have discussed. Like he gave a string which was starting from the spaces. It can be any number of spaces, right? And if that person asks you that give me the last name, how you will give him the last name? So this was all about this, right? And the number of spaces are also like let's take this example first. Okay, so you can see that the by default space is a default delimiter, right? So if you do not mention the delimiter, it will give you the result on the basis of default delimiter, which is spaces. All right. So first thing, if I do not provide the delimiter, I need the last name. Last name is the thing, right? So what I will do, I'll know that this is the delimiter, this is the first chunk, and this will be the second chunk. This is the delimiter, this is the third chunk. So string is basically my third chunk. So I mentioned name, comma, 3. And I know spaces are by default delimiter. So it segregated the string on the basis of spaces, right? What if I have some spaces before the Amit also? So what it will do, it will actually, now the segregation, how scan function works, by default, it trim your result. So whatever is the spaces at the beginning or the ending of the string, by default, it will compress your string. And then it will apply the scan function, right? What will happen if you write a 4 here? Nothing in the last name, right? Because there is nothing at the fourth, there is nothing like called fourth chunk. This will be the like segregation will start from this second, because this space will be compressed, treated this like this. The original string will be like this, right? So this is the delimiter. What will be the first chunk? Amit will be the first chunk. Second chunk will be Kumar. This is the another delimiter. Kumar is the second chunk. Third chunk will be Singh. This is how it's working. So you will mention the 3 for getting the last name. This is your last name.
Yeah.
Right?
Thanks.
Is it clear? All right. So we covered 2 very important functions today. Next is what compress does. By name itself, you can understand that it now I discussed and the ending of this string, those has been compressed, right? So now let's check this example. The length of the compressed variable is same as the length of the parent variable. So just like this substr, the length is same as the parent. So now I'm creating a variable name. Name 1. What will be the length of the name 1? Will be equals to length of the name. Okay. So I applied a compress function in the name. What it does? The compress function is basically whatever spaces are present, it will compress those spaces. Present in the mean also in the like between of these 2 letters, there were some spaces. It can be like something like that, right? So what it does, it removes those spaces and it will give you a compressed result, which is like CVV, FV, something like that. So all the spaces will be compressed with the help of compress function. Okay. I just took the default delimiter, which is spaces. Okay. So here you can see A, B, space, C, space, space, D. If I use a compress function, what will be the result? A, B, C, D, right? This will be your result. This was your original X and this is your Y, which is A, B, C, D. All these spaces has been removed. Okay. Now, if I do not want to use space as a delimiter, So suppose this is my string, which has, I have a special character, comma, which is being used as a segregation, for segregation. I want to compress this comma. I want a result which is not segregated by comma. So what I can do, I can mention the delimiter. You want to compress name, then it will SAS will ask with which delimiter you want to compress. I will mention that with the comma I want to. So make sure that you mention your delimiter inside the quotes. Let's get this printed. This is your CBBFB, right? Clear? So if you do not provide any delimiter, there is no space between these string in this string. So it will give you the same result. See, mention that this is my delimiter. Okay. So in case if a string also has a delimiter, something like maybe it has hash. It has again a hash. I do not want to remove the comma. I want to remove the hash. So you can use the hash here. So hash has been removed. This is how it works, right? So suppose you want to compress your string with v. It has been compressed with the v. V has been removed. Clear? This is how compress function works. So compress function is basically to compress your string with a character, which can be your alphabetic character, which can be special character, right? It can be any of these. So what is if we see that suppose you can see this here, you can see that I have provided first of all I've mentioned that x, I want to compress the x with the comma. Then I mentioned this is special character also. This is special character also. So SAS will not read the third special character which you mentioned here. It will give you a warning because delimiter and only 2 parameters. So third parameter will not be passed in the compress function. If you give a third parameter, it will give you invalid. So there is no third parameter in compress function. If someone asks you that can you pass a third argument in the compress function, no, you cannot. Macro, I will discuss inside the macro only. Compress blank, so string, and we want, okay, this is about the length, that the length will be same as the parent of the parent variable length. Okay, so it's a good example. A string which has many spaces, a space, 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 b, space, space, h, something like this, and then space, space, and also in the beginning also we have some spaces, something like this. Now I use this complex function. So complex is basically compressed blank. You can understand it. You can read it this way. Compressed blank. Comp blank is, comp is for compress, BL is for blanks. So I want to compress the blanks from the name. What will happen? Here, very important thing. What it does, whatever blanks you have in your string, those will be like multiple blanks will be compressed to a single blank. In case of compress, all of the blanks will be treated as a, like there will be, if there are 4 blanks, there will be 0 blank if I'm using a compress. If I'm using a comp blank function, what comp blank function does, if there are 4 blanks, it will make those 4 a 1. So it is basically to tell that to understand that it will be used in a situation when we actually want to use a single blank, but by default, by mistake, we have used multiple blanks. So to remove those extra blanks, we use a compressed blank function. So this is comp blank. The length of this new variable will be equals to the parent variable. Is like so I have provided the space in the starting also, right? And this is my so what I can do, I can use a, like I can something like I can use the put function, and then I can mention, okay, I can create a new variable which is temp. Inside the temp, what I did, I mentioned that my, and then after my, this is called pipes. Pipes is pipes are basically for concatenation purpose, right? And then I will use this function, that compress name. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm receiving a call. So just give me 1 minute. sorry for that. Giving the numbers as well if there are multiple entries and Venkat, is this question okay? I think this is for earlier one. All right. So, any question as of now? So I'm trying to explain this further. So what I'm doing, I'm using a pipe function here. So pipe is basically to join to basically for concatenation purpose. I'm combining two strings. So what I'm using here, comp blank and then comp blank. I will mention the name that I want to compress the name, and then I will use another pipe my and ABC name something like that. So name and my is hard coded, and inside these two I want to put the name, right? I should name. Okay, all right. So put temp equals to something like that. So what I did here, I created a new variable inside that between these two values there will be a value which is name. The blank basically I'll compress the blanks and I want to get this printed. Okay, so if you can see the information here, my and then so I have spaces in the beginning. What if there is no spaces at the beginning and at the ending also? And I print this. This is just to make sure that you understand the logic clearly. What I did, I do not provide any spaces at the beginning, at the ending of the string. And I use the pipes. Pipes are basically to, what I'm doing here, I'm concatenating three string, which is temp. Inside the temp, I'm writing my and the name, and then we have compressed blank. A, and then there were around 3-4 spaces. There will be only single space. After B and A, in between of VH, there were around 2. That has been a single space. So all the blanks will be, multiple blanks will be removed, and I'm concatenating these my and then com blank. What it will give to me my and then A space B space H space J and then A, my and the basically compressed blank name. What if I write the 4 blanks here? So what will be the result in the name? It will be the string will start with the first blank, which will be, instead of 4 blanks, it will be single blank, and then A, and then a single blank, and then B, a single blank H, and then a single blank J. Now, if I have 3 single space H and J, and then J and after name, there's no space because I have not provided any space at the end of J. Is it clear? So this is basically to get a proper understanding of how compressed blank is working. So you can buy these pipes at home and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so this is how compressed blank works. Strip, very interesting function. String which your parent variable. So we have compressed. We read about com blank. Now we are reading about the strips. Strip. All of these will have the same length as their parent string does, except scan. Scan has a length of 200, right? Now what strip does actually, so you can see the spaces in the beginning, you can see the spaces at the ending of the, as actually strip will remove the spaces from the beginning and the ending, right? So this is my string. Here you can see the results also. Let's take this and get this printed. Okay, we can use this strip here. I think it will, that we can. Okay, so I use a strip here. What will be the result? You can see that the strip, the compressed plus blank function, the compressed blank function to a single space. And even in the beginning also, if there was multiple spaces, it made it a single space, right? But in case of the strip, what a strip does, all the beginning spaces and the ending spaces will be removed. You will have a string which will, because here you can see that there were some spaces in the beginning. Even ending also, I will give some of the spaces. All the spaces which were in the beginning and space, starting from the my and then A, there's no space, but in the meanwhile whatever number of spaces will be there, those will be the same, right? So it is, strip is basically removing the trailing and the leading spaces blanks. So we have covered 5 functions as of now, right? Index is also important. So index, substring, or maybe a particular, you can take any of the variable, sorry, any of alphabet or a special character, you can use the index function. So now I want to check the position of hi, right? So what I can do, index, and then from which variable I want to get the position, from the x. Okay, position of the high. Put y. This will give you the position of the 11th is the position. You can count the number 1, 2, and then there are spaces. We'll count the spaces later. 2, 4, 6. This is the 7, and this is the 8. This is the 9, 10, and at the 11th position, high H is beginning, right? There are multiple spaces. What I can do, I can remove the spaces so basically it counts the spaces also. So I can remove the spaces from here so that you can get a better counting. 7, 2, 4, 6, and at the 7th position, H is showing, right? HI is showing. So now what happened if I mention the H here also? It's not HI, it should be the 8th position, right? So whenever it finds the same string, basically this is a string for which it's searching. So whenever it finds the string, it will give you the first position of that. Okay, so index is basically for finding a position, and it's give you the position. In this case, what I'm doing, I'm using a trim Y, and Y is actually you have a string. Trim is basically what trim function does. It removes your whatever is the, like here you can see that you have some spaces. So trim function is basically for removing the spaces. Okay, we will discuss the trim in detail. So what I need the count of the DD, right? So what you can do, it's DD and space. You know that you do not need these spaces. So what you will do, you will use the trim function in the by. Why? When you use the trim function, you get the DD only, right? Now you want the position of the DD. What will be the position of the DD? 1, 2, and 4, 5th, and 6th will be the position of the DD. So what you did, index X, and then for which variable or for what value you want the position. So I use the trim function inside the DD that I want the position inside this Y because it has some extra spaces. So trim is basically to remove the spaces. So it will give you the DD only. So this is how, even you can use the strip also. Strip will give you the same result, right? So this is something which you can try at home. The various ways of doing the same, I will discuss later because this processing we will use this function a lot. So index C and index W, or you want to use this index. So inserting the index function itself, but in case if you need if you have a particular requirement, so like suppose if your character is getting repeated again and again, in such scenario you may use these functions. So index excerpts from the left to right. If nothing is found, it returns the 0. Okay, so let's take this example. Okay, we can understand the example from here itself. So index C is basically you are telling SAS that inside the X, find the C and then DE. With the index, I can pass only one at a time. Like either I want to search C, I want to search the position of DE. But here I have passed two. I want the position of C and I want the position of D. What it will do? It will search for it will give you the 3. In case if your string does not contain C, it will search for DE. And whenever it get the DE, it will give you the result. Do you want me to try this code? Okay. So I'm trying this so that you can understand. Multiple words if you want to search at a single go. So in a single go, so you will use this. Okay. In this string, we know the C is present. But in case if C is not present, what will happen? Let's check out the log. Fourth, that means 2, 3, and 4 position, it will give you D. Because it found the C first. It did not find the C in the complete string. In the entire string, it did not find the C. So now it moved to the get 4th position. I give you the result. Okay. Index C, we read out like multiple searches. Okay. Now the index W. Index W is basically for searching the words. So this is example of like BD. I can see that BD is here and BD is getting repeated again and again. So this is 2, 4, 5, 6, and then this is 7 and 8, and then 9, 10. So what it does actually, if I normal search it without providing the W, if I search it, what will happen? It will search for the first BD and it will give me the result. So, but in case if I use the W, what it does actually, so what it does actually, it will search for exactly the word, right? So what I mean to say that exactly the word. Here you can see that it will count ABD as a different, like it will not say that ABD is your BD. When it will find a segregated BD, then only it will give you the result, right? So in case if here, I also write the FBD here, what will be the result? It will give me the 0. So whenever it will find the exact match, it will give me the exact word actually, it will give me the result. But if I use the index only here and use it, right, so it will give me the result. Is it clear? At the 8th position. But if I use the index W, it will search for the exact word. And if it does not find the exact word, it will give me the result. So now it has the exact word here, BD. So it will give me the correct result. Otherwise, it will not work. We have covered the index also. Left, right. Okay, we can do it right now. because there are multiple
Why
functions.
don't we discuss this process?
Sorry. Yeah. Can we discuss? Yep. Sorry.
Tomorrow.
Okay, sure, no problem. We can discuss it tomorrow in tomorrow's class. But in tomorrow's class, we need to complete us to read it by their own. But I'll be covering it in the class. So make sure we cover all of these in the class itself. So these will be like you can correlate these functions with the SQL also. So in tomorrow's class, I will complete all of these functions. Right. All right. So and then we'll be we have the arrays. What else we have actually? I need to tell you how to import the data from the Excel and how LiveName can help you. Okay, so that is LiveName engine also. I need to Excel engine also. I need to tell you that is very important, and like not everyone knows that logic, and we'll be using that logic while we working in the macros. So those are the functions, and then we'll be working on the Khaleesi function and lag function. These are two important functions, and then array. So I think that also I need to tell you date. So I think it will take easily. It will take 3 classes. All right. So I think it will take 3 more classes to complete the base test, and then we'll work on the proc SQL. All right, so we wrap it up, and tomorrow let's connect it to itself. All right. And any question, any concern regarding the things we have discussed in today's class?
No concern for now.
Okay, so try these functions at home, because these functions are not very big functions. Even if you search on this on the internet itself, you will find so many things. So try and using these functions. Apart from that, otherwise generally what I prefer, I directly give the exercise at the end of the base test that covers the entire section, but I have provided you in the meanwhile also. So I will give you one exercise also on the function once we complete the functions, and then we will have a test once we are done with the base test, right? Because I can see that not everyone is sharing the results. So you need to share the code also. So please share the codes so that I can see that you are getting the things. Please work on that.
Okay.
All right. Tomorrow we'll connect at 2 and we'll discuss on the functions and the rest of the things.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.